Pay me no mind. Sports and entertainment video. My name is Wood. Please consider becoming a subscriber to the channel if you like the way that any of the information or topics are being broken down, discussed, previewed, analyzed, reviewed, whatever. Hit the like button for me, or you know, share the content. Anyway, keeping up with this the new show on Showtime. Like I said, it arrived kind of on time. I needed something, on Sunday evening, some series to keep my attention or hold my attention. And the show isn't disappointing so far. Like I said, it's just 2 episodes in. The second episode of the show is called Part Two. I guess they're all going to be just parts. I believe I don't know if it's 10 or 12 episodes. Probably, I know 10 is becoming more of the norm, but it might be 12. But coming into this week, well, last week, was the pilot episode. Like I said, usually I kind of wait either 2 weeks or sometimes 3 weeks and then kind of jump on the show when we kind of have an idea of what we're dealing with. But this one is a little bit more straightforward, and we got a lot this week. We actually got a lot this week. So, the star of the show was Bryan Cranston, who plays Judge Michael Desiato. His son, Adam, pretty much the two main stars. Adam, last week, he had an asthma attack while he was driving his deceased mother's Volvo. He went to go search around to get his inhaler and ended up taking his eyes off of the road, looked up and hit a motorcycle rider who flipped over his hood and, ended up perishing. That person happened to be, or that person happened to be somebody. It was the oldest son of the local mobster in town, Jimmy Baxter. And so Adam decided to flee the scene. He gets home and he tells his dad, and then the judge makes a decision on the fly. He's already lost his wife. He doesn't want to lose his son, and especially to an accident. So he goes into protection mode and goes to make this thing disappear. And making something disappear in 2020 when you have cell phones, when everybody has a cell phone on their person at all times, it's very difficult to make something disappear, to not be where you were. So that's coming in from last episode. We get to this one, and like I said, a lot of stuff comes together pretty quickly. You knew Michael had to bring someone else in to help with he's good on how his son would be interviewed and questioned by the cops or the detectives, and maybe even what would constitute like probable cause and all that type of stuff. He's on top of all of that, but he obviously needs to bring in somebody to do the dirty stuff that he doesn't know how to do, making a car disappear. So he gets with his friend Charlie, who's played by Isaiah Whitlock. What up, 503? You going live this evening? I know you usually do like after 5 o'clock, don't you? I wanted to come in and see what you was gonna talk about with the with the weekend action. But so he goes and calls Isaiah Whitlock, who plays Charlie, because he needs him to get rid of the car. The car has DNA on it, everything, damage on it. The whole case really would be wrapped up on the evidence from the car. So what he doesn't know is Charlie goes and gets a local, the head of a local, you like it? Yeah, I think it's pretty dope. I'm kind of excited about the rest of the show. And I talk about TV series on here. So I'm kind of excited about this one. And now, like I said, we have some, we had a kind of, all of these shows. Okay, I'll check you out. all of these shows basically boil down to some kind of criminal element, whether it be organized crime or small time crime or whatever. It usually involves the streets. I'm trying to watch it with my wife, man, but my wife doesn't have any. She don't have any patience, and she starts messing shows up for me because she just doesn't have any patience. And I'm like, damn, can they tell the story? Can things happen? So, but I like this show. And what I'm getting ready to say is I really like the fact I prefer to watch shows with diverse casts. A lot of the shows where I don't see any people of color, unless it's a really damn good show or it's some fantasy or it's a period, it's back in the 1600s or whatever. I think his hands are tied, man. I think if you saw episode 2 already, I think it's pretty. He's out of his depth now. This young man Kofi from the street gang, is it called Desire? I think the name of the gang is called Desire. With him getting pulled over in the car, really just complicates everything. And you saw how quickly things got put in motion to put the situation on him, the accident on him. And then he gets a call from the gang leader telling him that, hey, you got to stand tall on this one. And, it's people above you. It's people above me that have to be protected, and you got to eat this case. And it's kind of, I guess if they go into the whole investigation of all of that, I guess it would get very complicated and I guess that's why he just had to eat it, because if they started asking questions and digging into this, they would see that he doesn't know any of the details. But the Baxter family or the mob is already picking up on the fact that something something ain't right. They can already tell that, or their interpretation of all of this is that something is being covered up. And they're already leaning towards this being some kind of retaliation from the street gangs against the mob family. So they got to handle this thing. And then you can tell by the father, Jimmy Baxter, you can tell that he's very, this is his son. Guys that are in power like that, legacy or lineage means a whole lot to him. He's taking this to heart. And he feels like his son's life has been, ended extremely prematurely, and somebody has to pay for that. So he's talking about going to war with the streets, which is really putting a lot of pressure on the judge and his son, because now it's no longer just on them. They got this young man in Kofi who is taking this rap. So it's a lot. It's complicated. I don't know how they get out of all of this. The more people that you got to involve in the cover up, is more loose ends that you create. He's got the charged up detective Costello. He just wanted this to go away. She's like, nah, we get to the bottom of this. So she threw a wrench in the whole thing. She's way more interested in her job than a lot of detectives. He brought Charlie in. Charlie is running for mayor, which is very close to his character from The Wire, Senator Clay Davis. Same energy and everything, but that's neither here nor there. And then you have, we just met Carmen Ajogo, who is an attorney that there's some kind of romantic connection between her and Bryan Cranston. But he's getting ready to ask her to get involved to help out Kofi. So now the one weird thing here is the one twist here is that in the first episode, the judge got this mother off of a charge that she was facing. She was in his courtroom. That same woman is now the mother to the kid, the young man that got caught stealing his car or getting rid of his car, and who's taking this rap for the vehicular manslaughter, vehicular homicide. So she comes out to him after the yeah, that's what was horrible. I said in the first episode, I didn't like how some of the racial stuff, the racial tropes that were being played. You know, I've never been to the lower Ninth Ward in New Orleans, but I find it. I've been to some hoods in my time. I'm obviously not white going to the hood, but that's even more to my point. I don't see people in the hood really messing with people that they don't know, especially if you're not messing up their business or messing up their hustle. It's not like people are just coming up to you. I'm not saying it never happens, but I thought they made that happen a little too conveniently just to move the story along. Now, here in this episode, that's just not realistic that they would make a man strip down in the middle of court at an arraignment. I believe that was the arraignment. The judge asked Kofi, "Are you connected? Are you affiliated to a gang?" And then he has the bailiffs or whatever stand the young man up and disrobe the man in front of the whole courtroom. I know Hollywood and I know TV is very liberal and all on the social. It's a way to get people to tune in, but that's just not realistic. They would have when they would have brought the dude in, they would have in booking, they would have taken pictures of all of that, and they would have asked that question back there. But it's just to charge people up to see black people in the judicial process, how you getting screwed with this thing, and it's making this bigger point that's really just completely unnecessary. But that's what they did. So going getting into the next episode, it's just gonna be now that we know who more of the major players are with the Baxter organization, the mob, the street gang, Desire. I don't know what the gang leader's name is, but Kofi's people. We have them. And then we have the Desiato family, how all of this is going to interact with one another over the next, over the next 8 or 9 episodes or whatever it is. So that's pretty much it. One thing that's similar, I don't know if 503 line is even still on here, but one thing that I was looking at that's kind of similar to some of the sideline discussion about boxing that we do in covering and talking about boxing. Showtime came out. This show broke some TV numbers for them for their original series. Looks like in the first week, which was last week, was the premiere week, it looked like 2 million people watched the show. So I would imagine that it's a possibility there could be a second season. I know this is based on an Israeli TV show called Kavodo. I don't know how many seasons that has. But right now, one thing that you're seeing on HBO is they're doing limited series or mini series that are just 6 to 8 episodes, only one season. Watchmen, Sharp Objects. What else? It was that's good rating. Yeah. So I think. That's probably with it breaking numbers for them, that probably bodes well that they figure out a way to get a second season in. Based on what we know right now, it seems like that could be different. I mean, difficult, because I would imagine most of this gets wrapped up at the end of these. I don't, man. I don't. I'm not a Power fan at all, man. I tried. I gave him the first 3 years, or the first 3 seasons, and then I couldn't rock with some of the clown the clown thinking and the I couldn't mess with some of the writing, man. It just wasn't authentic to me, and that's one thing that I'm kind of appreciating here with this show. I like how it's shot. I mean, I like that it feels somewhat authentic. I don't like over the top stuff and stuff that's just not well thought out. I think with them, it was probably telegraphed. We knew what was going to happen, but I like that they took the time to set up a couple of things. As we can see, the inhaler, the inhaler from the first episode. Um, the mob family found that, and then they obviously had the connections to get the DNA situation and all of that. And that's going to be something that comes back in the next few episodes and whatnot. So I like my storytelling to have some logic, some kind of flow to it, some connectivity to it, and for things to build on top of one another. So this is just more my speed and how I like my storytelling to unfold. Going back to Power, man, the way that they move stuff around on that show, you know, have some females go sleep with somebody so that we can set that person up to kill him or rob him. I mean, it's simple stuff like that, time and time again. We've seen that before, so I like stuff that's a little more complicated. I thought Power, actually, the dude that's Tariq is actually a member of my wife's family. To be honest, I can't even support him though. I had to let it go, bro. I wish him the best with that, Michael Rainey Jr. But I wish him the best with that, but I couldn't rock with it. My lunch is over. Let me get on off of here. Like I said, this is the second episode of the show called Part 2. It just really got turned up very quickly in just 2 episodes. You know, it was one thing when the judge had to trick the judicial system, but now you got the streets involved. He's learning the crime scene, or not the crime scene, but he's understanding how many loose ends his son created in this situation, stopping at the gas station. His bank, I think he used his bank card to pay for the gas. He waved at the person behind him that needed to get some gas. Once they identify him as a suspect, they can start looking at pings on his phone. It's just not looking good for him. The one thing that I didn't pick up on at first, I asked this last time when I was talking about this. I didn't understand why the Baxter kid was down in the 9th Ward. You know, he got his motorcycle that morning, a gift from his father, and I was assuming like he went to some kind of private school or something. And I was like, what would he have been doing down there to be involved in that accident? You know, he shouldn't have even been on that side of town. What we know now is his son, I guess, was actually messed around with drugs and could have been down there buying some heroin or something. So that's why he was down there. So see, I even like how they clean that up, because coming out of the first episode, I'm like, why would these 2 well-to-do white kids, not him, the one that he hit on the motorcycle, why would he have been there? Rocco Baxter, the kid that got hit on the motorcycle. Last week, I was like, why would he have been in that neighborhood? I thought he was going to school. I'm assuming he would have been going to like something in the suburbs. Yeah, you talking about the judge's son. I'm talking about the judge's son got in the Volvo and hit the kid on the motorcycle. I was like, why is the kid on the motorcycle? Why is he down there? I understood the Adam went down there to commemorate, you know, his mom passing away in there. I get that. But why was the other boy there? But like I said, he was down there possibly going to get some drugs from the brothers. So we learned that this week. So I thought that was good that they came back and tied that up, because that didn't make no sense to me. But let me get on off of here, man. I'm gonna check you out at 5 o'clock. See what y'all break down for the weekend's action. I still gotta go watch that Colbert fight. So let me check that out now. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Peace.